Hey everybody, this is Ashley Kimbrough with Coast Associates. Coast Associates, as most of you know, was started by my grandparents, James and Veronica Coast, and they started taking the products back in 1974 and then started on the business side not long after. And I have on the phone with me one of the people who joined their group pretty early on, Miss Betty Steward. And I was talking with her the other day. I was just making my rounds with calls, and she was sharing with me her past and how she came to know my grandparents and how much Shaklee has helped her over the years. And so I definitely wanted to feature her because she has such an amazing story. So, hi, Miss Betty.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Good. Well, we're just going to jump right to it. Would you mind just sharing a little bit about your past and what you've done and how you came to get familiar with Shaklee?
Well, I will give you a little bit about my Shaklee at first. I came into Shaklee in 1982. And I was just sitting in the back of a car of a friend of mine, and she was talking about Shaklee. She wasn't talking to me. She was talking to my friend. And it was sounding so interesting. I asked her some questions, and that's how I started on Shaklee. And that's been approximately 30-some years ago.
Wow, that's awesome. And
yeah.
I remember you telling me
in fact,
how
it's 37 years ago. And,
wow.
So, but how I got into, and I've been using Shaklee faithfully even to this day.
Wow. That is amazing. Man, and the interesting thing is that a lot of the people that I call all say the same thing, how they started, 25 or 30 years ago, and they're still taking it to this day. So that is amazing. Now, you said that you were very much involved in sports, right? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I would love to. Yes, I had some children in my neighborhood who was coming in my back. I just recently had a daughter, a baby, and these children was coming in the back of my yard, throwing rocks and stones and bricks in the back of my yard, and these were neighborhood children. And I told them to go home to their mother. They went home and came back the next day, and I sent them home. And then finally I asked the Lord, what should I do with these children? And I'm telling you the truth. The Lord, like he spoke to me, said, do something with them. And I said, what? He said, do a game with them, do soccer with them. And I never heard of soccer before. I went to People Drugstore, bought a book. I went to the library and got a book. Went to the People Drugstore and brought a ball. I went to the library and got a book. I read the book, got the soccer ball. I called my nephew, and we gathered the neighborhood children, and we started working with them with soccer. God was determined for them not to come destroy the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting every day. They were destroying property. They were being disruptive, and their parents were not involved in their lives.
Working with them, how did that help?
Well, I called all the people in my neighborhood. I had a meeting with people in my neighborhood. I said, I want to borrow your children. They say, fine. The people whose children were just been destructive, I couldn't get hold of those parents. So I went and talked to those children. They asked them would they be interested in getting into sports. They said yes. And then I took them to a field where we began to train them how to play soccer. If they never played soccer before in their life, never. They didn't even know how to kick a ball, but they knew how to push it in a basketball like a basket, but not to kick it with their feet. So they had to be trained how to use their feet and their hands and how to play soccer. It was a beautiful experience for them. And a wonderful experience for me to observe them. So we trained them. I had a person who came over from Suriname, South America, who was a soccer player. His name was August Wuta. He's well known if you look it up. His name is, they can look it up. He's from Suriname. I had a group here that would help me, and we trained team of children to play soccer, and then they played against the children in Ward 3 who was well-trained in soccer, and we won all our games.
Wow.
They could, because I told the children our children were angry. They were angry, and so I said, well, don't fight each other. Fight your opponents, but learn how to play the game so you can beat them in a legal way. And that's what they did. And over the period of time, I think we trained over 1,000 children. The children we put them in the World Cup. They played in the intermission in the World Cup. I trained children from Southeast, Northwest, Northeast. And then eventually we took them to we took them on a trip. Mm-hmm. So we worked with them. We had to work with them. I had to have a wonderful staff. I have a staff of 4 guys, and we would meet and have meetings and discuss how we could best put them in game situations and work with them. We monitored them, we supervised them, we trained them, and we made sure that we kept up with their progress. Mm-hmm. Now, looking back, these children have finished school. They're doctors, they're lawyers. They're in upper part of the government. They're doing very well. We had very few children to enter into the penal system, and the neighborhood became very safe.
Wow, that's amazing. I just want to first just, commend you for all of that. I didn't realize that it was over 1,000 children that you helped to train. Wow, that is a big feat, and I just want to thank you for your service, and I know that they have appreciated you and your team, and so I just want to say thank you for what you've done, and wow, that's amazing. How did Shaklee help you or your health or anything like that through all of what you were doing?
Well, I had a baby, and of course, when you have a baby, your system is not as strong as it. I was 36 when I had this baby, my last child, and of course, my system was sort of in a weakened state, so I had to build it up. So what Shaklee did was build up my system to endure, to make it strong enough to endure the job that was before me, because, when you're training children for soccer, we had games all day on Saturday and training all through the week. And I also had those children that I was training. I had my children that I was raising. I had to have dinner every day at 6 o'clock. I had homework for my children I had to get together. So it was a process. It was a very heavy job. So Shaklee helped me a lot because their products gave me the stamina and gave me the endurance and kept my health line strong enough to keep up with the pace that I was moving in.
Wow, that is so cool. And
because I was still married.
Uh-huh.
I've been married 57 years, so I'm still married. I still had a husband to take care of. I had a lot of duties to take. I still had to take care of our house.
Uh-huh.
So I still had to run emergencies. I still had to go to PTAs. I still had to. I was a mother. I was a woman. I still had meetings. I had to go to church. It was quite a lot of things going on at the same time. Yeah. And I'm a professional woman. I'm a registered nurse, so I'm still working.
Oh. Wow, that definitely is a lot. So Shaklee helped you to have the energy and stamina to be able to do everything that you were doing.
Everything. And the doctors were amazed because they couldn't believe how my body was still holding up. What was I doing that would make such a difference in my body? Mm-hmm. Shaklee made a difference. Shaklee made a tremendous difference, and I had friends that were on Shaklee that stopped taking Shaklee, and they went into ill health. Not because of the vitamins, because they didn't keep up with their food. They didn't keep up with the nutrients. They didn't keep up with the vitamins. They didn't keep up with a lot of things. They sort of let go of a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. So you have to keep Shaklee in place. You have to keep your diet in place, and you have to keep your health in line.
Right. And how is your health now?
Well, I'm 78 years old, and my health is pretty good. I'm not on any blood pressure medication.
Wow.
I'm not a diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I'm on one medication. That one medication I was taking before I became introduced to Shaklee, and I'm still on that medication. So basically, that's my health. I think my health is in pretty good shape. The doctor wanted to. Well, when you get older, you have all kind of problems. But I've lost 50 pounds.
Wow.
I'm a DC. I was just nominated DC Queen. And I'm in the National Queen. I went to Canada. They recognized me internationally, and I'm in the Tops magazine. My picture's in Tops magazine for the January-February issue of 2018. So Shaklee is doing its job. Thank you, Ashley, and your grandparents. I really thank them so much for what they did because they were wonderful sponsors.
Yeah. Oh, yay! I am so glad to hear that. The cool thing about it is that everyone that I talk to that has been taking Shaklee for, 20, 30 years or more, they all say the same thing. They say, I'm in great health. I feel great. I am, I'm doing very well. So I'm just I'm so happy that that is the case for you. And I commend you for keeping up with everything, keeping up with your health over these years, and I'm just so grateful for you and everything that you've done for your community, and you are going strong, so thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Well, that's really all that we wanted to share with you guys, just how people do amazing things, and Mrs. Steward, Mrs. Betty has done some amazing things and is doing some amazing things, as you just heard. So we're just so grateful to have her on our team, in our downline, and we encourage you guys to share your Shaklee stories as well, because they are all amazing. Every single person that I talk to, they just have such a great story. So that's really it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Coach Associate Shaklee at gmail.com, and we'll be sharing more stories like this with you soon. So thank you, Mrs. Stewart.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.